Tonight's discussion is political analyst Dr. Karim Hamza. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Let me start off by asking you, obviously a 24-hour ceasefire announced by Hamas in Gaza appears to be stalling, with both Palestinian militants and Israel continuing their offensives. Why is it so difficult for a truce to stand?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The ceasefires have started first from the Israeli side for a couple of hours, and Hamas have rejected the ceasefire. Then after humanitarian pressure, Hamas has accepted this. Until now, Netanyahu says that there is a breach in the ceasefire, and there's a lot of attacks have been happened during these ceasefires, and he is preparing a political excuse again to say that he can take whatever action to protect his civilians. In the same time, the public opinion inside Israel, over 84% are against the ceasefire. As we see, what's happening in Gaza is in all means a war crime against civilians executed by the Israeli government with the support of Hamas.
Right.
Okay, so both are criminal.
So you're saying that both of them are to blame?
Yes. And if we revise what is happening, Hamas before this recent war was politically dying. They was out of the political picture. They were losing power. They were losing ally. This war have helped them to regain global attention again, to reinforce their relations with their allies, especially Turkey and Qatar, and regain their relation with Iran again. So now Iran are trying to support them. So if you look as an operation point of view, Israel have won as a tactical operations because they have destroyed most of the infrastructure of Gaza Strip. They have attacked a big part from the military power of Hamas. As a strategic point of view, Hamas have won Israel because they gain back to the global picture. They gain the empathy and sympathy of most of the Arab regions and the European countries.
Do you think, though, that the empathy and the sympathy, as you say, towards the crisis isn't really directed towards Hamas, but it's directed towards the Palestinian people who are dying now in their thousands?
For sure it is for the people, but Hamas are using this to get funds and to get excuse to be back to the political game again. If you look to the Paris meeting, Fatah was not invited, Egypt was not invited, so we'll find that Turkey and Qatar try to reposition Hamas again as the only leader of the Palestinian people, which is not true, because what we can see now, this is like a blood trading of the Palestinian people executed by Hamas and Mr. Erdogan, who are claiming that Egypt is not supporting the Palestinian people and attacking our President Sisi. So we find that it's much more like a dirty political game. For Hamas, it sees that as the war extends, as they have more excuse and they have more fun to get inside, and they think they can make in this situation is the Palestinian people and the legitimate Palestinian government like Fatah and so on, because Hamas want to exclude the existence of Fatah and say they are the legitimate authority to represent the Palestinian people. So they will extend and provoke the Israeli government to go more for crimes. Now what we see is that Netanyahu are trying to position, see, we have stopped fire, but they don't want to stop us.
Right.
Okay, so we have the right to re-attack again. So you can expect some more breach, and you can expect that the Israeli military will make more operations, maybe tactical operations to assassination and so on. But it will take time until it settles down, and you may find some unrest in Western Palestine. So it will not be stable in the short term.
Well, Dr. Karim, I'll come back to you. Now, obviously, we're seeing that both sides seem to be stubborn. They don't want, neither one wanting to concede defeat in this. how long are we going to see this crisis continue?
This is a very tough question because nobody will know what can happen tomorrow. But I am totally supporting Dr. Hazim in his view that both sides are trying to support specific agenda. The Israeli will try to get more fund from the US government regarding their Iron Dome and defense supports, and will try to get specific assassination against specific figures in Hamas or maybe Fatah. Hamas will try to extend the fight in order to get international support and international funds. Now, what about Palestinian people in Gaza? As you see, the situation is very catastrophic. The UNRWA said in their last report they are trying to prepare hostage refugees for over 160,000 civilians. This is the current figures. We don't know till now. And by the way, the number we are exceeded 1,000 killed civilians, and it can expect it to be higher because nobody have texts buried yet. We haven't get them from under the damages that happened. So it can be expected to be higher than that. In the same time, Israel tried to deny any targeting for civilian, especially the schools, UNRWA school, and say that it was not our target, it happened to collapse by its own, or Hamas are using rockets inside civilian facilities like hospitals and...
but this is incorrect.
This is what they are claiming.
Yes.
And, this is what Netanyahu said on CNN today. So they are trying to make like an alibi or a political excuse to make further attacks.
So how do you see the international community's response to all this? I mean, even yesterday's talks in the French capital, we saw the US, we saw Turkey, Qatar, several European countries there, but not really no one from the Palestinian Authority, no one representing Israel. What was the aim, do you think, of those talks, and how do you see diplomacy as a whole?
The diplomacy in this case is very divided because everybody is trying to support his own agenda. Nobody is trying to solve or help the Palestinian people. This is what we can confirm on. So you see that Egypt and Fatah tried to give a solution. Israel accepted, Hamas refused, and then we find Turkey and Qatar try to give another solution, okay, without the support of Egypt or Fatah. So that you will find like a divide between the two solutions, and it is not supporting the Palestinian case. The international community, you'll find that the UN are claiming that what is happening now by the Israeli government is a war crime. It is a serious issue. This is the first time that they fully announced this is a war crime. For that, Netanyahu have stopped the fight until he get more support from Hamas to continue his fight. So what is Hamas doing now? It is giving the proper excuse to Netanyahu to continue his fight in Gaza. You will find in the other hand, the public opinion saying Europe and US is very, very supporting to the Gaza people. Okay, you'll find a lot of protests have happened in London. Paris have refused to accept protest for the Palestinian people. You'll find even on the sport level that a lot of games have been stopped with Israeli games. And what I'm expecting that the rate of violence against Israeli civilians or Israeli targets inside Israel or outside Israel can be increased, especially in Europe, because you'll find a lot of people like Daesh and so on able to access Europe. So maybe you'll have like international impact on this. Now the main aim that I would suggest for something like UN and so on is to create a safe area for Palestinian civilian inside Gaza. Safe area, this means that either Hamas or Israeli will not have to fight in this area to protect the civilian. So Hamas and Israeli can complete this fight as they wish. But we have to stop the bloodshed of the civilian. The amount of children that have been killed, I think from the 1,000, I think they are more than 25%. And this catastrophe cannot continue. It has to stop one way or another because the impact will be high. There is a lot of expectations that there will be an uprising in the West Bank. Okay, and this can be impacted by other Arab countries. So the Middle East have enough tension, so we cannot accept more tensions. This can exceed the violation. I believe, according to Netanyahu approach, he may stop after 1 or more weeks, 2 weeks again, until he makes sure that he destroyed whatever he wants from the infrastructure from Gaza, so they cannot stand alone for a long time. And this happened before in different occasion, and he have the support through Hamas. So whom I ever blame in this case is first Hamas, second Netanyahu. Here, the Arab country have to take steps, because Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and I don't believe that humanitarian approach will be enough. We have to create a safe zone for the Palestinians. We have to give them medical aids. We have to give them food. But in the same time, whatever pressure Turkey and Qatar or Iran try to move Hamas to make a pressure on Egypt to open the Egyptian border, I don't think this will be acceptable by Egypt, and it is destroying for the Palestinian case. So we have to give them their support inside Gaza, not outside Gaza. So by coordinating with the UN, try to create a safe zone for the Palestinian civilian, enter medical aid, enter food and supplies, try to make protection for children. This will be the first approach. As an operation, nobody can suspect or can simulate what can happen now, but I don't think that Netanyahu will stop before 1 week from now, because he's already preparing for another campaign under the claim that Hamas is still attacking, and the public opinion inside Israel, over 84% are objecting the ceasefire and they want to continue. Even they are making campaigns outside of Israel, especially in Europe and US, try to find London attack like Tel Aviv, try to find Paris attack like Tel Aviv, what you are going to do. So they are trying to make like a counter media against Gaza. They are trying to make some like a blackout for the media also. So Arab media have to get inside Gaza, get the real picture, see how far the people are suffering there, and we have to give them support as much as we can, and supporting the legitimate regime of Palestinian Authority. This will be the political approach to protect the civilian. Hamas to work as a standalone state or a standalone militant or a standalone country, this is destroying the Palestinian people, not helping the Palestinian people. To stop the Palestinian suffering, first thing they have to unite. All militants, all group, all political party, they have to be one hand. If they are divided, then the Israeli will have more room to play with the negotiation, as you know, they are masters of this. So without a united Palestinians, it will be very hard to gain political strategic success. So first of all, they have to unite. So there is a problem with Hamas. This have to be resolved internally, because if Fatah or the Palestinian Authority agreed to stop fire and the Hamas militant have continued firing, this means any negotiation will be destroyed.
Can I give a question? Just to clarify, please. Until we unify, as you say, should we bleed until this happens?
No, I'm not saying so. I'm speaking about long term.
This is you are talking about how to have something ideal. But not. Let's
now,
be very, very.
Now, what I see, at least there will be a safe zone for the civilians. So casualties, wounded people can be taken care, and so on. Children can be helped. What I see now that Mr. Obama just have gave announcement that the ceasefire need to guarantee that Gaza will be arm-free zone, which I don't think it will be acceptable by either the Palestinians or Hamas. In the same time, Netanyahu will continue.
Right.
So we need to make political pressure to enforce Israel not to continue attacking, even if the public opinion are supporting that.
Okay,
So we need
well, gentlemen, unfortunately,
solution.
that's all the
You
time I
need
have.
different level of solutions, political one, economical one, even
Right.
maybe you can use
Humanitarian also.
humanitarian.
Okay.
So first of all,